So my first collection is going to be based on this design here. All the elements for the design. And I've just finished filming my first ever YouTube video. I forgot to add the satin stitch. Hi and welcome back to the Charlotte Francis Embroidery YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, lovely to have you here. My name's Charlotte and I run my own digital embroidery company out of my home in West Yorkshire in the UK. In this video, you're going to see me start working on my first ever collection, the starting point of the collection, the design that I'm working from, and testing out new ideas, sampling things, experimenting, things like that. So I'd love it if you would join me, and it's going to be the start of a little mini series that I'm going to do in the build up to the launch, which is hopefully going to be at the end of June. Now, there hasn't been a video for a couple of weeks, and that is because I've been on holiday. Me and my partner Brett had a lovely time and he filmed some bits while we were away, so I'll put them in here. I started filming this video all the way back in March when I started working on the collection, and it's been a slow work in progress from then until now. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. So my first collection is going to be based on this design here, which is what I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. The plan today is to add some more leaves down here, and then I'm going to check that the sequencing's right, and I'm going to sample it to check that things like the density and the stitch length are all okay, and then we'll go from there. Okay, we're back. So I'm really pleased with it, and I think the leaves look really good. But I'm going to have another look at these white flowers because I don't think they really go well, or kind of look, I don't think they've translated well or how I wanted them to. So I'm going to have a play around on the computer and see what we get and fix the little mistakes that happen as well, which is to be expected with a sample. So yeah. So some of the amendments that I'm making here are changing the shape of some of the motifs as well as the thicknesses of them. I felt like some of the stems were too thin and some were too thick. And then I decided that I wanted a bit of difference in terms of scale, so I designed a slightly smaller daisy type flower that would be put in clusters around the design, which is what I'm adding here. Okay, so it's about 12 o'clock now and I've just finished filming my first ever YouTube video. It's my YouTube channel introduction because I thought it would be like a good way to sort of get myself used to talking to the camera and also editing, because I've used like CapCut and things for your phone, but I've never used proper software before, which is what I've got on my laptop to edit these videos. So had a productive morning so far. I think the plan for this afternoon is to stitch out the different elements from the bouquet design, because I'm going to play around with those, see what other like smaller bouquets I can turn them into. I'm also going to put them in Photoshop at some point. That might not be today though, because I really want to do some prints for this collection. I think It's a bit unusual to have like a stitched design on a print with the texture. My plan with the print is using a print on demand service so that I can literally just edit the picture and then not have to think about it, and it's a way of generating a bit of income. And I think the stitching will be like a really cool use of texture rather than just like a plain print, like a 2D print. So hopefully it turns out okay. I think it will. So a very productive morning so far, and hopefully that carries on into this afternoon. So I'm just going to get you up to speed with what I've been doing. So I've been taking all the elements off the design and putting them onto this project here. So all the individual flowers, leaves, I've got them in there. And then I've been looking on Pinterest at these kind of like flower market posters. And I've put a couple of words down here just to sort of sample and see what they look like. We're going to get that stitched up now and then scan it into the computer and play around with it in Photoshop. So the machine's stitched out all of the elements for the design. My printer's not playing ball today, so I'm going to scan them in using the Notes app, and then when I kind of map out the prints, and then when I can scan them in at a higher resolution, I'll do that and add that into the print designs. You might have noticed I've moved locations. No one's using the office today, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to sit in the sunlight because I work out of my parents' dining room and it gets very dark in the afternoons. So it's a lovely day. I'm going to sit in here, scan these, have a play about in Photoshop, and we'll see how far we get. I'm hoping that I can do a bit of editing this afternoon, but that might be wishful thinking, but we shall see. Okay, so it's a new day now. I think last time I spoke to you was in here on Monday, and I said that I was going to do a bit of editing, which I did. And then I did that after work for the past couple of days as well. It's about 3 o'clock now, and I'm only just getting to work on the collection, but that's absolutely fine. I think this afternoon I'm going to look at making the bouquet a bit smaller to go on things like t-shirts and hoodies, because it's quite a big design to sort of put across here, and it takes quite a while to stitch as well. So I'm going to have a look at different variations that I can get out of it. And yeah, just see what we end up with. So I've managed to get around 6 designs. Some of them are quite similar to the others. I think the top right and bottom left one are my favourites, but I'm going to get going on testing them on some patches now and see how we get on with that. Forgot to add the satin stitch. So as you've just seen, I forgot to add the satin stitch that goes around the edge of a patch. So I went back and added that to the design and then stitched it out. I'm not sure what went wrong with this patch. I didn't use a background stitch, I just used the fabric as the background. It could be the shape, but it just didn't end up looking right. But I didn't do enough research going into this, kind of watched a couple of YouTube videos and just went for it. You'll see that the smaller patches worked out a lot better, but I had an absolute nightmare cutting them out, so again, I need to do a lot more research. And then I thought it'd be a really cute idea to do almost like a felt hanging decoration. And I don't know if it's the shape of this design or what, but that didn't come out looking right either. I don't know if I cut it too close to the design, but that is why I experiment and do sampling, because things don't always turn out how you picture them in your head. this design was another go at patch. This time I filled in the background, and this design is for vintage inspired stamps. So I have 6 of these that I'll show you more in depth in next week's video. This one is of daisies, so I used the same flowers as what's in the bouquets, but just kind of separated them up into each individual flower, as well as a couple of mini bouquets as well. And that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. And next week's video is going to be a continuation of creating the collection whilst balancing commissions and other things as well. Bye!